It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Sunshiny day. KFI AM 640, it is The Conway Show. And Johnny Nash had passed away. I believe it was October 6th. And I didn't know until I got an email today from my Uncle Wally up in the great northwest part of the United States. And he said we lost a real, beautiful person today or this month. And Wally, actually, my Uncle Wally has a connection to Johnny Nash. Wally, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Conway. I'm fine, thank you.
If I
felt any better, Tim, if I felt any better, I'd be twins.
Was that a song you wrote?
No, probably.
I'm really embarrassed, and I got to apologize because I do consider you one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And today, even today, the cadence that I have saying some things on the radio and the references and just how things are said, I picked up from you. And I still remember, spending a lot of time going to Vegas with you, going to the card rooms together, and sitting in your apartment in Hollywood and writing together and doing stuff. And I really enjoy that. I'm embarrassed I haven't had you on before, so I apologize.
That's quite all right. It's quite all right. We had a great time together.
It was really a lot of fun. And you were you and my Uncle Danny were the two uncles that would come over to our house on Magnolia and Balboa there. And the first thing we did is pick up the hockey sticks and go at it.
Exactly. It was good times to be had by all.
It was great, man.
And a tennis court too. My gosh, those were the good times. Those were the good times.
Yeah, no. My mom, about 7 years into owning this house in Encino, my mom decided, for about 3 weeks she loved tennis. So what does a typical woman do? She buys a tennis court, and then she used it maybe 3 times.
No, she didn't use it much. I remember playing there with. Oh gosh! Well, what's the comic's name? Albert Brooks' brother.
Einstein.
Einstein.
Yeah, Bob Einstein. Yeah, Bob Einstein.
How about Einsteins?
Yeah,
two Einsteins trying to figure it out.
It was Albert Einstein. That's who it was. It was Albert. Yeah. He used to come over all the time and play, and he was a very funny man, obviously. That whole family were very funny. Mr. Johnny Cash was a sweetheart of a man. He was born in Houston, Texas, and he was on the circuit singing, and he was obviously a great singer, but he didn't sing reggae. He sang, it was like a Dean Martin act. He sang, "Who Can I Turn To When Nobody Needs Me?" I mean, that kind of, you just go, oh my God. Of course, this was in the 60s, and this was before reggae was really big in America, and he was produced by Bob Marley. And that song, every time I hear that song, and I hear it all the time, all you have to do is turn the radio and you can hear
Sure.
it. I Can Sing Clearly Now. That song, 50 years from now, they're going to be playing that song. I mean, it is such an anthem. It is such a powerful song. It's just a great song. And when Bob Marley produced it, they gave him, it was done on Epic Records, and they gave him all this money to do this album. And he did it so fast because he was a musical genius, Marley. And he had all the musicians, and everyone knew what they were doing. They would just buzz through it. They wouldn't spend 6 hours doing one song. And so he did the album, and he had so much money left over that he produced another album and was paid for by Epic. I mean, it was just that's how fast he got it done. But it's just when you hear the song, I mean, Johnny Nash, you just go, oh my God, what a great voice, but what a great song. I mean, it's just one of those songs, like one of the Beatles songs. They'll never go out of style. It'll always be here. It's
I think you're right.
An anthem.
And then there's other Johnny Nash songs that weren't as popular, but also they roll off the tongue like what was the one?
Stir It Up.
Yeah, Stir It Up was another one. But
I think that was a Marley tune.
But there was another one the train don't come to Erio if it tried.
Yeah, that's it.
Alexander Leslie's up and down.
He did a nice job on that. And
that was a great song.
He had to live in Erio for a year to get the sense of it. He did a nice job.
But he also wrote that song, Farmer's Daughter, what do you do?
Yes, he did. He was a versatile man, very versatile.
But where did you play with Johnny Nash? Were you in Hamilton?
Yeah, Hamilton, Ontario, a place called the Carillion Club, and it was a supper club, and he was upstairs in the big time with a band and everything, and Danny, Jackie, and I were downstairs in a little lounge, and we would hang with Johnny when we got off work. We'd go have breakfast, and he was just the sweetest man. He was just a sweetheart of a person, not affected at all. And
right.
Of course, by that time, he wasn't. In 1962, he didn't have a reason to be affected. He was just like us. We were just out there working the circuit, trying to make ends meet and trying to catch a break. And he sure caught a break when he wrote "I Can See Clearly Now." That's just incredible. So I never hear it. Every time I hear that song, I feel better. It's just got magic to it.
But when you were playing in Hamilton, was that song already written? Was he singing and performing that song?
No, that wasn't written until the 70s. He wrote that in 72. And recorded right away. No, he was just a schlep like us trying to make a buck and working toilets. And this was a nice club, but we would compare the shitholes the bad places that we worked. So he was just a gentleman and just a very talented man. And you love to see the good people win, and he sure won. He died too soon, but he had a great life, and as I say, that he was just a talented man.
Well, I think he was 80 when he died. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think most people would take 80.
Yes, as a matter of fact, they would. And I'm going to be 79, so I'm looking at that 80 going, come on. I've got two brothers. Dan died. Dan made it to 82. My dad and my other brother made it to 81. So I'm shooting for 83, and I can lead the pack.
You know, I'm so glad that I had, that I was in town and I got to go to your brother Danny, or my Uncle Dan's service. It was put on by his kids and
by
Casey,
Marlene and the kids,
right? And, Casey and Danny and
Casey
Kelly.
and Danny and Kelly.
And it was was such a great vibe there. It was there was no family feud going on. It was just like a really cool vibe there. And to hear Tommy get up and sing a great Irish song. Oh, Danny boy, it was so moving. I even saw you break down, and I think I've seen you cry maybe once in my life.
Yeah, Danny was a real sweetheart of a man, and everyone loved him. And they were talking from the heart. Everybody was saying the things that everybody knows about Dan. He was a sweetheart of a man. We still miss him.
My Uncle Wally is with us. I have to make a correction here. I said that Danny you wrote the Fernando Valenzuela song. Then I got a call from ASCAP and BMI saying Danny Dalton has sole credit and that you did not participate in that song.
No, I didn't participate. It's a great song.
It is.
I didn't participate in that. And speaking of Fernando, we could use Fernando tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. Huh?
Last I heard, the Dodgers were losing.
Did you become a Seattle fan when you moved up there?
I did. I was a Tiger fan when I lived in Detroit. Then I was a Dodger fan when I lived in L.A. And now I'm a Mariner fan. But I'm still rooting for the Dodgers. They're a favorite of mine too. They're a great team.
But ultimately, Wally, if the Tigers were in the World Series, whoever they were playing, you're a Tigers fan.
You bet.
Yeah.
And Seattle and L.A. and it's just when they got Mookie Betts, I said I wanted to call Boston and go, really? You traded this guy? Really? I don't care how much money he got. You traded him? This is one of the best ball players that the game has ever seen, and you traded him?
Right.
He steals 2 bases in 1 inning. It's never been. But here's a trivia question for all your listeners: who was the only one other than Mookie Betts to steal 2 bases in 1 inning?
Ooh, I would say.
I could give you 1,000 guesses and you wouldn't get it, but it's probably the greatest baseball player of all time.
Okay, we're going to take a break there and come back. Can you stay with us?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, my Uncle Wally's with us. I worked with Johnny Nash. We'll talk to him a little bit. And he also has a great story about his brother and my Uncle Dan getting married, and how my grandparents got to the wedding is a sensational story. Very funny. It's one of those family stories that whenever we get together, I need Wally to tell me. And so I hope he's up for it. All right, we're live on KFI AM 640. It's Conway Show. My Uncle Wally's with us.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
My Uncle Wally Dalton joins us from the Washington, Seattle area. And so what is the answer to that trivia question that there's only been 2 baseball players in Major League Baseball that have stolen 2 bases in one game of the World Series?
Uh-huh.
Mookie Betts, and who's the other?
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
His first name was Babe.
Ah.
Now, when you think of great runners,
Wow.
you don't think of Babe Ruth. You think of Ty Cobb. You think of some of the Jackie Robinson, some of the great
right.
base
Ricky
stealers.
Hernandez. Right.
Yeah, exactly. But Babe Ruth stole 2 bases in 1 inning, so he was very fast. He was, for a big man, he could really run, and plus he was a world-class pitcher as well. So when all is said and done, the greatest player ever to play the game was Babe Ruth. I don't think there'll be any argument there.
No, I think you're right. Hey, so you got to first of all, Ricky Henderson. What did I say? Did I say Henderson? I think I did. But anyway, so one of the great stories of my childhood involved you. And can I ask, is your friend? I don't want to say his last name. His first name is John. He was a painter. Is he still with us?
Doherty.
Yes.
Doherty. Yes, he is.
Okay, I didn't want to say his last name because he did something illegal, so I wanted to leave that out. So I'm glad you didn't include it either. Okay. But I remember John broke his leg a Saturday. He was a painter, and he fell off his ladder, and he broke his leg. And he went to your house, and you said to him, John, you're going to drink all day. Tim's going to pick us up. We're going to the King game. We're going to park in the Sizzler parking lot. We're going to walk over to the Forum, and you're going to fall over one of those wooden parking horse barriers, and the Kings are going to pay for that broken leg.
That's the truth.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course I do. That's the truth. And I said, wait till we get a lot of witnesses. Wait till we get a lot of witnesses.
That's so great. I mean,
he went, boys.
By the way, I thought he
went.
I thought he broke his other leg when he did it too.
He probably did. I think he one was gone, and I think he got the other one too at the same time. But they paid for everything.
That's good.
We had some good seats at those Kings games after that.
And we always parked at the Sizzler.
Oh yes. In those days, they didn't check much.
No. Well, I don't know if we have time right now, but can you stay with us? I need you to tell the story of my Uncle Dan, your brother Dan's wedding in Hamilton, and how my grandparents got there.
Sure.
Okay. All right. The commercial break's coming up. It's only 22 minutes, so you'll be able to gather your thoughts.
No problem.
Okay. All right. My Uncle Wally Dalton is with us. He worked with Johnny Nash, who was one of the the coolest guys in the world, one of the greatest songs ever, too. It's really cool that I have, we have some kind of connection. I Can See Clearly Now was the song. And when we come back, my grandparents got to the wedding of my Uncle Dan in a very unconventional way, and it shows you what sticklers they were for timing. When my grandfather said, we're leaving at 8:01, he didn't care who was in the car. It left at 8:01. And he would do crap like that. But how they got to my uncle's wedding and Wally's brother's wedding is a great story.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
My Uncle Wally is with us, Wally Dalton. Very funny man. And I would say more than 50, maybe 60 years ago when your brother Danny was getting married, I believe to Lois, right? Okay, for the first time. And your parents, my grandparents, were in a place called Erie, Ontario, which is just directly due north of Cleveland, Ohio, on the Canadian shore of Lake Erie. And take it away. It's the morning of the wedding, and what shakes down?
He wanted to leave. He said we'll leave at a certain time.
Your dad?
And and he said we're leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning. And Hamilton's about 3 hours away, so we'll get there in plenty of time. And so he hold on 1 minute. So she was not
mail?
ready. No, I was just plugging in. I'm getting low on juice. I was just plugging in. She was not ready, and he said, "Okay, goodbye," and he took off. And we got to the church, and I was there with my wife, and we said, "Where's Mom?" And she wasn't up to it. She just wasn't feeling good. What? She's missing a wedding. She's missing a wedding. She wasn't. Come on, what's up? No. She, her. She just wasn't. She wasn't up for it. So we're going, oh man, and put a damper on the whole thing. So we start walking into church, and all of a sudden, there she is. And everyone went, Mom, how did you get here? I hired a plane.
What?
She went out and hired a plane. And, my dad, the look on his face, I wish I had a picture of it. His jaw was down around his testicles. It was just incredible. And the whole time, the rest of the wedding, all we could talk about was her getting to the wedding.
So she drove to Chatham and chartered a plane.
Yep, drove to Chatham, chartered a plane, then took a taxi from the airport to the church. Guess who paid for that? It wasn't her.
I remember my Uncle Wally's with us. I remember you introduced us to hockey, you and my dad. I think you were a bigger fan than my dad. You grew up in Detroit, which is a big hockey town. My dad grew up in Cleveland. They had the Barons for like 8 seconds. But I remember going to the hockey game with you, and it was me, you, Doherty, and a couple of my brothers, and we were sitting behind one of the nets. And that was back before they put that net screen up there, and a puck going, 800 miles an hour can hit you right in the teeth. And I remember a puck comes up, it lands right in our seats, and the guy behind us takes a dive to try to get the puck, and he knocks out one of his glass lenses out of his glasses. And we look at the guy, and he's wearing those Coke bottle glass lenses. They're like 2 inches thick. So Wally reaches down, and he gives him an ice cream carnation plastic cup and goes, "Here, try this." And the guy behind him goes, "F you, I'll kick your ass." And Wally goes, no, your lens is inside this carnation cup. I remember like that. I remember like as if that happened last week, Wally.
Oh man, you can't write these stories. These are rich.
I also remember.
Was wonderful.
I have a story that my mom didn't like me to tell because she said they're family stories, and evidently I wasn't part of the family. But I remember going to Erie, and your mom occasionally, before she sobered up in life, she used to enjoy a pop every once in a while. I think it's fair to say, right? I remember her coming down the stairs, not much clothing, going behind the refrigerator, grabbing that whiskey or gin bottle, taking a pop, and then going back up the stairs. And with every step she took, there was a new fart sound. And it went... it went... And when she got to the top of the stairs, my brother Pat whispered to me, "Charge." Charge. That was great, man. But anyway, I got to play the song for you. This is, I just was sent this song by Randy Wang. This is Danny, your brother Danny wrote this beautiful song that I still enjoy, and now I have a copy of it. And I think you remember him sending this to you and ask you what you thought about it. It was when John Kerry ran against George Bush for President of the United States. Here it is.
1949 in a land called Vietnam, when Jim Raspman was blown right off his boat. And that boat sped away, but it was his lucky day, for Lieutenant John Kerry came about.
Help is on its way. Come on, Gina. Help is on its way. John Kerry's gonna save the day. Help is on its way.
With a wounded arm, Kerry hoisted Jim from harm. Then he turned that boat around and raced away. He got 3 Purple Hearts and a bronze and silver star. Lieutenant John
Are you ready,
Kerry
Gina?
saved the day.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Help is on the way. Help is on the way. John Kerry's gonna save the day. Help is on the way. I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs he ever wrote.
I do too.
It really was.
He was
great.
He was a good writer.
Wally, are you still writing songs?
I am.
Is he with us?
I just finished one called.
Wally here.
I finished one. Just finished one called. It's all about the money, honey. It's all about the bill.
There we go. All right, Wally. So you still write songs, huh?
Yep.
And I know you wrote. You got to send me some because I'd love to play some more of them. What was the song you sang? When I turn 66?
When I'm now that I'm 75.
Right. Okay. You got to resend me do me a favor. Send me all the songs that you have because I got to play them all. It is such a treat to have you on the air. Go ahead.
Did you hear the one I did on marijuana? I'm going to roll a major fat one right now.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll send that to you too.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, email it to me because I can't get enough of them. They're really they're terrific. They're great. I remember the one you wrote about. It was a Sal the Morris agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saul the Morris. Saul the Morris agent.
Yeah. Saul the Morris agent lived by the sea. He dwindled in the show of biz in the hills of Beverly.
Right. So all his Saul the Morris agent lived by the sea and did something in the biz of show in the hills of Beverly.
Right.
The big producer loved that rascal Saul. He'd bring him coke and lady folk, but never return his calls.
That's great. Wally, I really appreciate you coming on. Thanks for staying up late. I know you're an early bird.
You're welcome.
I'll tell you a quick story here. One quick story. We have a new intern. She's been with the station for about a year or two, and her name is Morgan. So I call her the Gansk, and the moment I saw her, I gave her that nickname. Plus, because that's your obviously people don't know this, but my cousin Wally's son is named Morgan, and his nickname was the Gansk. And we used to say, and the Gans had a pretty wicked slap shot and could tickle the twine, which means he scored in playing hockey. So I said to this young girl, she's probably like 21, right? And I gave her the name, the Gans, and I look at it and go, hey, the Gans tickles that twine. And then I get a call from HR saying, hey, so what's going on with you and Morgan and tickling the twine? I had to explain to everybody what that meant.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
great.
Wonderful.
All right, please say hi to Anne Marie and Morgan and
I will.
Whoever else is that we miss all the time. But I really appreciate coming on. You got to come on more often, like more than once every 20 years.
I would love to.
All right, and maybe every Wednesday. How about that?
That'd be great. That'd be great, man.
All right, God bless you.
Well.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
Take
See
care.
you, Timmy.
All right,
Bye.
there he goes. Wally Dalton, man. That guy is the best.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
Mark Thompson is here.
Yeah, I am.
I was I didn't know that we had, I wouldn't say mutual friend. We've had Jake Johannsen on the show years and years ago, and he's one of my favorite comics, but I didn't know you were friends with him.
Oh, yeah, for many years. I go back to the Bay Area. That's where we first met in San Francisco.
He's one of the funniest guys ever.
I agree completely. I think he's literally one of the funniest minds of his generation.
He has a run about yard sales that I still repeat
I agree.
on the show. He said he was having a yard sale, and he put all that stuff out in the morning, and strangers come by, and one guy picks up a lamp and says, hey, this lamp doesn't have a shade. And Jake says, yeah, well, it's a $70 lamp. And the reason it's a quarter is because it doesn't have a shade. He goes, we want 25 cents for it. He goes, well, it doesn't have a shade. And he says, yeah, well, I'm explaining to you that I paid 70, but I'm willing to give it to you for 25 cents because the shade is missing. And he says, well, I got to then buy a shade for it. And Jake said, at that point, my instincts were to tie him up and burn him to a stake right there at the garage sale. But I didn't do that because I know in my history with garage sales, if you start burning neighbors at a stake, it cuts down on foot traffic. I mean, I don't do it justice. I mean, it's something like that.
He does a whole run. He does a whole
great.
run on the garage sale, and how you essentially have marked down everything to be purchased with whatever, and then people are still sitting there like it's a negotiation. And I think he does the thing about a leather jacket. Some guy, like, he said, the leather jacket's $5,
right.
Okay? And the guy goes, I'll give you $1 for it. And and it was one of those, sir, I'd rather set this on fire right now than sell it to you for $1.
That's great.
I mean, $5. It's true, though. And, I've got all this stuff that I'm looking to get rid of. It's hard. Just organizing it
I'm in the middle of
difficult.
doing that myself. And I think everybody is, because I took stuff to the Goodwill the other day, and the Goodwill, when I was younger, used to be so happy that you came by. They're like, oh, my God, we'll take this for sure. Are you sure you want to get rid of this?
Not like that
I
anymore.
love that. Now, I was told by this one in Burbank that they start collecting donations at 1:30. So I showed up at 1:25 and sat in the car for 2 minutes. So it's 1:27. And I said, hey, can I donate some stuff? He's like, we don't open at 1:30. And I said, well,
rules are rules.
By the time I walk back to my car, it's going to be 1:28. By the time I get the stuff out of the car, it might be 1:29. I might just be at the finishing line here at 1:30. So I bring the stuff, and I said, where can I put it? He goes, what is it? I go, what? What do you mean, what is it? It's free stuff. It's my free stuff I'm giving to you. I said, it's a TV set. And he says, does the TV set work? I said, well, it was in our kitchen this morning, and I watched the news on it. So, yes, the little TV set does work. We just don't have the room for it anymore. We bought a air fryer. And so he took that. And then I had 2 scooters that my daughter used all the time. And he goes, looks like one of the wheels is rusting on. I'm like, buddy, look, this is not a negotiation. Either you want it or you don't. I'm going to throw this stuff out if you don't want it, right? But man, they make you feel like they're doing you a favor.
Well, they make you feel as though, and I've had the same thing happen where they talk about the vintage of your TV and it doesn't have a Fire Stick thing or whatever. It's like, oh, wow, seriously? It's a 70-inch screen. It's somebody's going to make somebody very happy.
Right.
And there are other things like that. They make you feel a little bit like everything has to be in pristine condition. Like that was the thing with your daughter's scooter. Well, there's a little rust on it. Yeah, well, it is used. That's why I'm here with it.
I called the Salvation Army, and we had a bunch of furniture to give away. And one of them was a big kitchen table. It was a nice wooden table that maybe we spent, I don't know, $400 or $500 when we bought it. We had it for 10 years. And we ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner on that table. And I had breakfast on that table before they came that afternoon. I pulled it outside, and they came to pick it up. And the guy says, there's a big chip out of one of those legs. And I said, well, I've eaten breakfast, lunch, and dinner on that table for 10 years. I never even noticed it. And I had breakfast on that table this morning. And now it's not good enough for your crew, huh? And he says, well, we can take everything but this, this, and this. And I said, buddy, look, with all due respect, this is an all or nothing thing.
Oh, you really drove a tough bargain on that.
I said, we're not going to, I'm not going to dance here.
You're not going to let him pick and choose.
No. I said, either you take everything, which includes like an old, mini bike that still worked. You take everything or you take nothing. And he's like, well, I can't take that table. I said, all right, time to press on.
You stuck to the Conway credo was all or nothing.
You know what? It irritated the hell out of me that table was good enough for my family for 10 years. I never even noticed that chip, and yet it's got not good enough for this crew. But it wasn't the Salvation Army. It was God, what charity was it?
There's so many of them.
It was the charity that goes around and drops off the bags and says, "Hey, we'll be in the neighborhood." put stuff in the.
Those are usually the can bags.
Yeah, right.
Canned
the
goods.
can bags. Yeah.
I don't know what.
But they have another faction that does furniture and household goods. But man, they sent. It was like reading me the riot act. Like, you should, that sucks. That sucks. That sucks.
How dare you?
That sucks. Right? Your whole house sucks. I'm surprised you're not driving one.
I'm gonna write you up for trying to pass this crap off on us.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.